Welcome back to Archway Sports Talk with Al and Dan. Sorry, it's been a little delay in our podcast, but we are back. And we are going to get ready to upload our live podcast on YouTube shortly. Probably our fourth podcast, and it will hopefully be the next week or so. We are a couple of topics Dan and I will be touching base on will be about the 26 Cardinal roster and possible trades. Also, minor league ball players who could make the jump to the show. Who should make the Dan, I watched the podcast with the St. Louis sports writer Bernie Miklasz. As you all know in St. Louis, he is a well-known sports writer in St. Louis.
Shares a birthday with me.
Yes, he does. Very good podcast, very knowledgeable gentleman. Talked about Sonny Gray trade to Boston, which made a lot of sense. His home ERA versus his away ERA and his home runs allowed. 3.40 ERA at home. And ready for this at Fenway Park, Dan? You ready? 7.40 ERA away and a 5.27 slugging away. According to Bernie, and I quote, his home starts were by design, and I agree totally. If you look at his stats, he had more starts at home than he did away.
Two-thirds.
Two-thirds of his starts. So we're going to move on from that, and we're going to hit some of these starting lineups for 2026. And I'm going to start off with Dan and what he thinks about our possible starting lineups going to be in 2026.
All right, Al. I see the catching position as Herrera, Pages, and Crooks. What do I think the Cardinals are going to do? I think they're probably going to start Herrera and trade either Pages or Crooks. I don't agree with that. I think they should start Pages or Crooks and trade Herrera because Herrera has more value and greater return than Pages and or Crooks. Plus, Herrera has missed significant time each couple of seasons he's been with the club. None of these three will be the starter in 27 and beyond because in 27, you've got Leonardo Bernal, which you could then have Crooks backing him up. Bernal is a better catcher. He has a better arm, and he is a power hitting switch hitter. And behind them, they got an even bigger prospect coming up in Rangel Rodriguez, and he's moving up fast.
I heard I think they got him at 18 years old.
Yeah,
and he's still he's moving up the ladder quick. He's got a powerful bat, and I saw an article on him last week. A lot of good to say about this young man. I'm looking forward to see him come up.
Yeah, and when he comes up, you could then move Bernal over to first base because by that time Contreras will be gone.
My thoughts on the catching position are Pedro Pages and Jimmy Crooks. Pedro Pages proved he can work with the pitchers. They like the way he frames pitches, which next year may not be a big part of it because of the new digital home plate called balls and strikes. And also I like Jimmy Crooks. He's a left-handed bat. He's young. From what I see him, he needs to catch up to major league pitching, but that all comes with getting some bats.
Think about it. Mason Wynn, who we're going to talk about in a little bit, when he came up, he didn't hit worth squat. The following year he did, but he didn't hit for much average or power when he came up.
You're absolutely correct. So you got to get the bats in. And I think Jimmy Crooks needs to prove that coming up in preseason. So get those bats in, and I think he'll make a good major league catcher, especially being left-handed. It's a big plus for a young man. As far as our next position would be first base, Dan, and Contreras is still here. And as of right now, we've got to put him at first base. He's a good bat. He's a good leader. I like him in the lineup. He's always positive. Poor guy gets hit a lot, though, unfortunately.
He does. Well, yeah.
He does crowd the plate, but he does get hit a lot. Then you got Burleson backing him up at first base, which Burleson can also be a swing outfielder, too, when you need him.
Yeah.
But I do like Burleson at first, being a left-handed catching first baseman. And he's also a left-handed bat, also.
Yeah, I agree with you. I see that as well. I don't think that they'll trade Contreras, even though there's been a lot of talk about it. He's going to cost you 18 million in 26 and 18.5 in 27. 27 being an option year, but really that's still half of what Sonny Gray is costing you, and what Arenado probably will cost you. Even with sending the 20 million along with Gray to Boston, the 20 million that you're saving, that goes to Contreras, and you still have some change left over.
Well, Dan, back to going. I apologize. We forgot to go back to the catcher position real quick. We forgot to put Herrera's name back in there. Apparently, he wants to catch again, and he's just had injuries after injuries. He's definitely a good bat, but apparently he's been talking about rumor mill also about being a possible trade. Well, we can get something for him. But once again, he's had surgery. So I guess we'll see what happens when he gets better and see how he does in spring training. He said he wants to be a catcher again. So give him a shot. He can hit. Let's see if he can.
Let's not.
Catch.
Let's just trade him and get rid of it.
That's to the point there, Dan. That's a good call. You were right to the point on that one, big guy.
I'm not going
to There was no pulling the punches on that one.
I'm not going to beat around the bush on that.
All right, let's. So we're done with first base now, also, and the catching position, guys. Let's go to second base, where I got Donovan and I got JC. Donovan's your incumbent, but there's talk about him being traded too, Dan. But as for right now, he's my second baseman. I love the guy. I hope he's here forever. So JC's a good backup. He can play any infield position pretty much. But Donovan's your all-star. He can hit. He's your gamer. He gets down and dirty. He's reminds me of sort of ball players that Whitey had on. Just gets down any place you put him, he can play.
Right. I agree. I like Donovan. I like Donovan a lot. I told you about him when he was down in the minors, how he was able to play multiple positions and that he was constantly getting on base. I like Donovan, but if you can get something and get a lot of something to improve this team down the road, I'm all for trading him. I'm just not falling in love with these players because they're here for a short time and then they're gone. So, yeah, I agree. As of this time right now, Donovan is on the roster. Will he be on the roster tomorrow? I don't know. Will he be on the roster come spring training? I don't know. I don't think he will. If he's not, I think Sajasi is your second baseman, and you'll have somebody like a Fermin and backing up at second and short. Now the temptation is everybody's going to scream, "What about Weatherholt? What about Weatherholt?" Weatherholt is not on the 40-man roster. He hasn't even had a full year at AAA. Let's let him develop and dominate down at AAA, because after 26 season, there's a work stoppage. And if he's on the 40-man roster, he can't use the facilities or coaches to continue his development. He'll be like everybody else, having to do it on their own. And that could set him back a bit. So let's not be in a hurry to bring up Weatherholt. Let's not be in a hurry to bring up Quinn Matthews. These guys aren't on the 40-man roster. Let's leave them off. Once this work stoppage is all said and done, then you can bring them up and put them on the 40-man roster.
Yeah, I agree. If we bring them up too early, it could hurt them. You see what happens to young ball players. They come up and they got to prove themselves, and they just try too hard. They haven't caught up to Major League pitching yet. Everything's just so much bigger and faster. Major League.
Oh, yeah.
Let's give the kid a shot and let him stay down the minors so he can play all year. Stoppage is coming, apparently.
It is.
Unless a miracle happens, it's coming.
It is.
Let's move on to shortstop, where we have Mason Wynn, who's Probably going to be our shortstop for the next 5 to 10 years, hopefully. Gold Glove winner. Can steal you bases. He's got speed. He's a heck of a ball. He's got a cannon for an arm. He's made some plays that are just unbelievable. Behind the bag, backhand, just cannon. So JC would be his backup when he's tired, because there are the dog days of summer, Dan. He's going to need a break once in a while. But so JC doesn't hurt you there. But when is your I hear he's working on his bat a little more this year. He said he was.
Now, he was hurt last year, remember?
Yep.
And that went against his ability to hit with any kind of authority. So, yeah, I agree with you. When is your Gold Glove shortstop for the unforeseeable future?
Right. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think he's got a few more Gold Gloves in his back pocket. Next will be our third base, and you got to put Arenado there, Dan. He's still here as of right now, as of today's date, the 29th. He's here. You got to put him at third base. His defense has not been hurt. He can still play defense and coming in the ball better than anybody in baseball. Yes, his bat has slowed a little bit. I think he's
more than a little
swing. Yeah, his bat has gone down immensely. His power, his slug. It's not for the lack of trying. I just don't think he's got that swing.
He's going to be 35 years old. Each ball player has an expiration date the moment he starts, and he's approaching his. I agree. He's your third baseman as long as he's on this roster. And I say that from a Cardinal management standpoint. I personally, if I can't trade him, and I know they're trying really hard to come up with a deal, you could always release him. Right?
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Just release him.
Or something I talked to you before is why not add 8 more years and $3 more million onto his 2-year, $42 million deal? Give him $45 million over 10 years. That's $4.5 million a year. Have him retire and be a roving third base instructor, teaching the third baseman down in the minor leagues how to play the position properly.
I'd say that's a long shot, but you know what? It's not really a bad idea when it comes down to numbers. He wants to stay in the game. He can stay in the game till he's 80 years old and, still be around the team and make good money.
Well,
It's a thought. It's a long shot.
He'll at least be 45 by the time that contract comes to a close, and then he can decide on what he wants to do.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then you got Gorman. I mean, let's say Arenado gets traded. You got to put Gorman at third. He's got a cannon. I think he needs to work it. That's his natural position. You can't say he's an Arenado because he's not. But he should make the routine plays and once in a while the great plays because he does have a good arm. He needs to work on that ball coming in. I noticed he struggled with that. But that's from playing that position. Repeat, get ball, ground balls. Like in Major League, when they kept hitting the guy at third base, kept getting bruises on his knees. Bam, bam, bam. Reflex. That was a funny part of that movie.
Well, I see. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Gorman will then be your third baseman for now because they do have a guy who I think I read he was in Double-A. So he won't be too much longer, 27, 28, and he'll be ready to make his move. His name is Daniel Ortiz.
I've heard that name.
Third baseman with power. So, they need to find these corner position players with some thump.
We haven't had a power third baseman since Scott Rowland.
That's true.
I don't think we've had a power third baseman in a long time since Scott Rowland. It was awesome. Cannon for an arm, got to everything. Just a good hard-nosed ball. Enough on that subject there. We're done with the horn around the horn, Dan.
Yeah.
I think we're going to go to left field, my man. I got Newt Barr and I got Church or Burleson in left field. Newpart's going to be coming off heel surgery on both heels, which, as anyone knows, that had heel problems. That's going to be major comeback to try to come back. So hopefully it wasn't major. Anything to do with the heels can be a problem. His bat struggled last year. I think he's a fan favorite. People do like him because of his attitude and it's the way he plays the game. He enjoys the game. See, he has fun. You got to have that. But you also got to be able to hit. He did struggle last year, and maybe that was because of his heel problems. That I don't think really anybody knew about it. I didn't hear. First thing I heard about it after the season. And then I got Burleson can play left. Good arm. Doesn't have the range, but he gets pretty much balls that are at him. Good arm. Very good arm. And Church, I see more of a center fielder than left fielder, but he can pretty much play in the outfield. Still a rookie. Needs more bats to get that swing. What do you think, Dan?
Well, I agree. I see Newpart in left, or maybe even right, depending on what happens with Walker. I personally think Victor Scott II and Jordan Walker need to start the season down at AAA and get their reps in down there. I know Walker has been working at some complex down in Florida and has discovered some flaws in his swing and has been working very hard at it. Who knows? That may help him, but Scott's got to be able to start getting on base. I've said this before. He's Billy Hamilton of the Reds all over again. Good defensively, fast, but you can't steal first base. And he needs to be able to show that he can get on base, even if it's just laying down bunts. Get on base. So I say let them start down there. I wouldn't be too upset if they, in a trade,
Maybe in a trade to get a center fielder.
Get a center fielder who has some decent range, decent speed, and a decent throwing arm, but can get on base. I wouldn't be upset if they did that. And if nothing else, maybe you do sign somebody like Dylan Carlson, who could play all three of those as a fourth outfielder, play all three.
And he has a little pop in his back.
He has a little pop. Maybe they can find out some things that are going on with his swing that he can do differently. And you do it on, Al, your favorite term, a pillow deal where, maybe it's like $10 million plus incentives and he can reestablish himself. I think that would be in everybody's best decision because in 27, I think this outfield could look a lot different because you've got Joshua Baez that's coming up. And again, he just got added to the 40-man roster. So he could come up sooner than later, but he's not played any AAA ball. He played AA last year. And I think you want him to be down at AAA, getting those reps down there. And again, learning to dominate and continue developing down there.
Well, I like Scott the second. I know you don't care for him a whole lot, but he does have a lot to work on getting on base. He showed signs of getting on base toward the end of the year, but it seems like when he hits a home run, that's all he wants to do is hit the ball out of the park. Swings for the fences. When you look at him at bat, the whole left side's wide open. I'm not saying it's easy, but go where the pitch is pitched. If he just gets a bunt down that way, swinging bunt, anything, he'll beat that out. He's got massive speed. So with Church, same way Church. I got him in center field also. His speed is phenomenal. He's got some balls in the gaps that were just unbelievable. But like I said, he just came up. He needs more bats. I think his swing is a little slow for the major leagues right now, but you got to practice. You got to get up there and take those swings. You got to get caught up with that major league pitching.
Well, these coaches and instructors, everything is about launch angle. And I was watching a video on launch angle, and you have to understand what your swing is. it's okay to be a line drive hitter. It's okay. There's been a lot of players in the major leagues who have made a really good living out of being a line drive hitter. Some guy out in San Diego, if you remember him, that's right, Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn.
Made a living out of hitting line drives.
Yes, he did. Unbelievable. Great ball. Short-lived life. Gone too soon.
Yeah. That was a shame.
So right field, I got Walker. Apparently he's working on his swing, and he's at some training facility right now. They said he's found a couple of hitches in his swing.
Yeah.
Back leg or something, had a little hitch in it.
His back leg was collapsing, and so they're trying to fix that and get him to drive the ball more.
He's a massive human being, Dan. Walker. He's a 23-year-old kid, man's body. He's still growing into it. I think they filled his head with this launch ankle stuff. He's thinking too much. Too many coaches filling his head. Get back to basics. Sorry. See the ball, hit the ball. Go to right field once in a while. There's nothing wrong going to right field. Got to run first.
Still counts.
It's a hit. You can't pull an outside pitch. It's proven. You cannot hit an outside pitch.
Well, you can't hit an outside pitch if you're pulling off of it constantly. And with that open stance that he's had, he has been coming off of those outside pitches, and all he does is create a breeze for the people in the stands.
Yep, his stance is way too wide. That's just my opinion. I'm a nobody. I did like coaching baseball, but nothing at a major league level. But I think his stance is way too wide. It's opened up too quick. Just can't get to some of the pitches outside. But hopefully he's working on that, and he'll be back. He's too much talent to be in the minors. We're going to move on from that. We're done with the outfield, done with the around the horn, Dan. Starting pitching rotation. As of right now, I've got Liberatore, McGreevy, Leahy. There's talk of Leahy going to the starting rotation. This new guy named Fitz, we got in a trade for Gray, and Palante possibly, but I see Palante being a relief pitcher, long relief. But we do have some other pitchers and trades that are possibly coming up in 2027. This is Liam Doyle. You got Matthews and Roby, who's still rehabbing an injury. But those are guys that are going to come up in 2027, maybe sooner. But as far as starting pitching, we may have to go out and get somebody, Dan. I like Liberatore. He's young. I think he kind of wore down toward the end of the year. But he's a good left-hander on the mound. McGreevy looks like he's 15 years old, but nothing bothers this kid. If he gives up 2 home runs back-to-back, he gets back on the mound. You can't even tell. His poise on the mound is unbelievable. He throws lower to mid-90s. Good control. I don't know much about this guy Fitz yet. There's a newbie on the team. We'll see how this goes through spring training with him. Palante, I think he needs to work on a few things. He seems to me he's only been a 3 or 4 inning pitcher, man. And he struggles sometimes to get out of the first inning. Either got worn out toward the end of the year, but he needs to work on his stamina, I believe, and his location. That's what spring training is. Yeah. But I see him in a relief pitcher, but we'll see if we pick up in a trade possibly.
I agree with you on what the starting rotation looks like right now. Really, since Gray has been traded, it's McGreevy, Liberatore, Palante, Fitz, and possibly Leahy. They keep saying. Of course, I think that's a mistake. I think Leahy is best suited for long relief, and then if you can pair him up after Memorial Day weekend and have him be like a 6-starter combo until Labor Day weekend, that's going to take some of those games, some of those innings off of these young pitchers, save some extra throws out of their arms for the future. And then you just have them as your 6th starter. I think he would be best suited because really you're asking 3 to 4 innings out of Leahy and the piggyback, preferably a left-handed pitcher who can do that. He'd be really good at that. is somebody we traded last year, Steven Matz. 3-4 innings, perfect. But I really would like to see Palante included in a trade. Even a Tink Hence I would like to see gone too, because I think
there's 3 guys out there I believe still in the trade. We've got this Maley kid who used to pitch for Cincinnati despite an injury.
Yeah,
it's a possibility. We've got Dustin May, and we also got Ferris Bueller, or should I say Walker Bueller, still out there. Bueller. He has showed signs of getting stronger back from his injury. He still throws 90s, mid-90s, and higher. Take a flyer on him.
Yeah.
Dan's famous word is pillow talk.
Not pillow talk.
Pillow deal.
Pillow talk's what you do with your wife.
A pillow deal.
Yeah,
Show him a 1-year deal with incentives. Same with Maley. I believe May used to pitch for the Dodgers.
So did Bueller.
And then you got this Maley kid. There's talk about him. He's could be a possibility. Give these guys a shot. They've been in the big leagues before. Yes, they've been injured. They need a little time to come back from injury, but it can't hurt.
And you want to do this on low amount of years because, quite honestly, after the lockout or work stoppage or whatever you want to call it, you've got young pitchers that are going to be coming up that are going to be ready. Like McGree, you're going to have McGreevy and Liberatore, and then Quinn Matthews, Liam Doyle, Takeo Roby. Roby will be coming in 27. He'll be off of Tommy John surgery. He should be done with Tommy John recovery sometime this summer. He can get some throws in, have a normal off-season throwing program, and be ready in 27 once the work stoppage is done. And then behind them, you've got this Tanner Franklin who he was at Tennessee with Liam Doyle and was penciled in to take Doyle's spot, but decided to enter the draft as well. And he throws 100 miles an hour, has wicked breaking ball. Bryson Motts, he's left-handed, big kid, throws hard, has really good off-speed stuff. And then you've got this Brandon Clark that they just got in the Sonny Gray deal, who throws 100 miles an hour, wicked stuff, but can't hit the broadside of a barn. So they got to work on some control because you know what Eddie Money said, the boys got no control.
I got that little anecdote there, Dan, and no control. Great song. But the future does look bright, so do we have to wear shades?
I can't hurt.
Can't hurt. Anyway, let's move on, guys. Sorry about that. We just like to goof off a little bit once in a while. Make time go by a little bit and have a little fun with it. It's all about fun, and like I said, it's just our opinions, and we enjoy doing this. We're going to move on to relief pitchers. I've got Romero, O'Brien, Swanson, Leahy in the relief as of right now, Palante, and Graceffa. Romero has been a stud. Great left-handed, 7th, 8th inning guy, setup man. Also talk about him being traded. There's some talk about that. I hate to see him go. I really think we need that left-hander in the field. O'Brien's throwing mid-90s to 100. Came out of nowhere. Svenson's got that look of a closer. Leahy, just a stud. Leahy did great for us. I think he wore down toward the end of the year.
Overuse.
Overuse is what they usually do with the Cardinals. Same 3 guys all the time. Boom, boom, boom. Start to wear down. He had a little rest and came back strong. Palante, I got him down as relief pitcher. Could be a 2 or 3 inning guy. Tag with another left-handed guy and go about 6 innings. Graceffa, haven't seen him enough, Dan, so I don't know a whole lot about Graceffa.
Well, Graceffa used to be a starter, but he can't handle the starter's load.
So that's who I got relief pitchers. And in my closer, I've got Svensson as a closer and O'Brien. I think both 2 together as a tag team would be fantastic. They both got that mentality. They're young, good arms. They got that look on when they're on the mound. Svensson's a guy I think could get you 15, 20 saves. You know,
I depending on how your rotation plays out and how things go, I think O'Brien and Svensson can both be 20 plus save guys. I agree with you. I had Fernandez also in the bullpen, but kind of like what I had talked about earlier, I think Palante should be traded, but I agree with you on Leahy, and then some left-handed version of Leahy as long relievers, and then they can be that combination 6 starter during the summer. If it gets to a point where your rotation's giving you 7 innings and you're not needing a 7th pitcher, a 6 starter very often, throw them in there. Just give the other guys a break. I agree with you. I kind of like to see them implement this closer rotation situation where you have O'Brien, a lefty setup, and a righty 7th inning guy, and then Svensson with a lefty for the 8th and a righty for the 7th, and they just keep them back and go back and forth. That keeps from pitchers being overused on a regular basis.
I think they need to pick up a left-handed.
Back up they did get rid of your boy John King.
King. I didn't care for him. Every time they said he's coming through a double play ball, I see him over. After he came back from his injury, he wasn't the same. I'm not going to lose sleep over. I'm glad he's gone.
Yeah.
Hope he does better someplace else. I got nothing against him, gentlemen. I think his days here with St. Louis were pretty much done.
Yeah, I agree.
Not to change the subject, Dan, on these. I'm going to throw you a curveball. Quick opinion.
I never could hit it.
On this, quick opinion on this. These contracts with the no trade clause and going to getting to pick and choose who you can go to. What are your thoughts on that?
I hate no trade clauses. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. Did I mention I hate them?
You did say that once or twice.
Yeah. So let's use, just for an example, a 5-year contract. Most of these players, when they get these contracts, they're late 20s, maybe even early 30s. Why are you giving a 5-year no trade to players like that who are going to be hitting their decline? What they should do, and again, let's just use a 5-year contract. That first 2 years, okay, I'll give you the no trade, full no trade the first 2 years, and I'm fronting the contract. So I'm paying for your production those first 2 years, because as that contract wears on, that production's going down. And I don't want to be paying top dollar and not getting top production. So I would say that the third year, you just maybe a partial, say, submit 10 teams that you'd be willing to go to. And the value of that contract is now gone down from the first 2 years, down some. And that 4th year, now he submits 20 teams that he'd be willing to go to, and the contract goes down. And the final year, no trade is off the table, and you're not paying a high value on that contract, which makes that contract easier to move if you need to.
That's a good take on that. There's no trade clauses that hurt baseball.
They're hurting every sport.
And I think these salaries, there needs a salary cap, there needs to be a floor, and there needs to be a cap. I think that some of these low-end teams, like Florida, even Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. Oh, my gosh, Pittsburgh. Nicest ballpark in the major league. Beautiful ballpark. But they're not spending the money. They can't get some of these ball players that the Dodgers can get. Or Frisco.
Skeens won't be there for much longer.
Yeah, Skeens won't be there much longer. They could probably get a whole new team for Skeens someday if he stays healthy. But enough about that. Last but not least on our show here, I came across an article when Hein Bloom came up for his 5 things that he wants to be thankful for Thanksgiving. Dan, would you like to hear them, sir?
I'd love to, because I'm always in to hear what Hein Bloom has to say.
Mr. Bloom, number 1, transparency. Message will be clear and invites tough questions.
Well,
I like that.
That'll be a change from what we've had.
You got that right. That'd be a clear change. Pardon the pun there. It invites tough questions. Well, let's ask him some questions. What are we going to do? He seems like he's not going to back away from the question.
I don't expect him to give us some insight as to what their plan of attack is. You don't let the whole world know what you're trying to do. But then once you do it, be clear about why you did it.
Yes, I agree. Let's go to number 2, Dan. Clear direction. Focused on the future from the start and rebuilding and acquiring young pitching.
Well, I don't disagree with that. I think that's something that this team has lacked for a long time. But I don't think you should just focus on acquiring pitching. I think you're going to need to focus on also acquiring other talent at other positions, because quite honestly, come 27 and beyond, you're going to have a lot, and I mean more than this organization has ever produced before, young pitchers coming through. Not everybody's going to be here. Not everybody's going to put on that Cardinal uniform. Or maybe they put it on, and guys who have had it on go away. And you can use that pitching, that abundance of pitching, to get other areas,
Agreed.
outfield,
I agree.
whatever.
We got a lot of pitching coming up in the minors. Let's go with number 3, Dan. Sense of urgency. He is rigorous in his desire to get the team closer to a championship contention. And his urgency, I believe, showed us right away when Gray is gone. Sonny Gray. They made a deal for Gray to Boston, his old place of work. Kind of funny, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. I like the trade right now. I've looked at it not just on the surface, but I've looked at it, and I think if these two guys pan out and can contribute in some way, shape, or form, I think St. Louis got the best of that. I think with some other moves, whether it be trades or free agent pickups, and again, it doesn't have to be that big superstar player. You don't need those guys. You need to fill holes in your system right now because you got other guys coming up. I think the Cardinals could make a run for the playoffs now. And will they win a championship? Probably not, but I think they can at least.
Good thoughts on that, Dan. I agree with you on most of that, actually. Getting closer to contention, getting rid of Gray, that was a heck of a deal. Number 4, accountability. Has no problem having the fan base or experts pushing the club to do better. Well, we all want the team to do better. The experts want him to do better. Apparently, he's not afraid to take accountability for his actions. So he's got to back those actions.
That's refreshing.
And that's something that is refreshing. We like to hear that. I'm not going to dwell on that too much. It's pretty much self-explanatory. The next one would be number 5, hope. Dan, there's always hope. It's time to get fired up about the organization once again with Bloom's new regime. But will the Cardinals get back to the old days? only time will tell. Hopefully, not too long. We'll see what happens. Only time will tell. Like I said, he's hopefully heading in the right direction. And let me finish. We're going to finish up this podcast real quick here. I was going to talk a little bit about the Blues season and possible trade talks concerning Bennington, Shen, and Falk, but that's for another podcast. Everybody's wanting to trade Bennington. I don't know why, but apparently Edmonton's big hurt. So, once I got one last thing I got to say, thanks again for listening. Have a great holiday season, everybody. From Archway Sports Talk. Thanks again. Good night.